Hello everyone, good day to you. Today we are going to see how the concept of page object model, and I will explain to you using PlayWright test automation tool how page object model can be helpful for us to maintain the code in a modular way and do not repeat the maintenance of the locators, etc. Even in Selenium, you have page object model and that is one of the best practices. Okay, for that, I'm going to give you an example of Orange HRM learning website to make it very simple for you to understand and very quickly churn out page object model framework related test cases also later on. So for that, we need to first understand the fundamental aspects, what are important, and not get confused between the pages and the test cases. So I will take you through this. Now, we are going to see the open source demo, right? So open source demo for this one. So there is a username and password. One username and one password has been given. So let us use the use case is like this. When you enter the correct username and password, you click on the login button, you will be able to see the dashboard page or a landing page. Let us call this dashboard page or landing page. So there should be this element dashboard or this element dashboard, which will confirm that the login is successful. Okay, let us consider a second situation. One is uh, the correct login credentials. The other one is maybe A, B, C, D, whatever incorrect username and password combinations when we give. It is supposed to show invalid credentials. Okay, so these two scenarios we are going to see how this can be simulated by using page object model in PlayWright. So before I go on to the PlayWright tool, I want to explain to you the concept of page object model. The concept of object model goes like this. Every page in an application is a class or a given to understand that you have created a folder with end to end or any other naming is fine. So we will have to create a folder by name pages. It makes it easy for us to also maintain the scripts. So basically I have created the TypeScript files for each one of the pages. So what are going to be, let's not go into the technicality of it right away. We will understand the concept very well, then we will go and implement it. Then it will work like a charm. Okay, so each page in the application for that matter, we have seen two pages, right? One is the login page having three, controls with which we will be interacting. That is through the script. Okay, each page, like login page is a class. The member variables, as we have seen in, OOPS concept, each class is going to have member variables, and those are the username and the password. So when we write within the TypeScript, when we create the page class, what are going to be the important things that we have to take care? The highlighted ones in yellow, incorrect credentials message is also going to be part of the page in case you're going to enter incorrect credentials, but it won't be initially visible. That we have to come to a bit later. The components of a page class is going to be the declaration of the page. Okay, so the declaration of the page. I will close off everything and start with a clean slate. Now, I'm going to the page class written within the pages, and all the other things you ignore. You will see whatever I'm going to tell you, export default class, and this is the name of the page class, right? So page class, the page declaration of the class is going to be export default class and types like that. And what are the other areas of the page class? It is going to be the constructor area. Why we need a constructor? The classes cannot be directly used. You have to create objects of the classes, isn't it? So those objects you can call the methods. That is what we have seen in object-oriented programming, and also the data hiding or the encapsulation comes into picture as the direct interaction with the member variables we cannot do. We have to do it through the methods only. So that also is covered over here. Okay, so what else is there? Constructor of the page. So the constructor of the page will be the actual page when it is created, when usually we say in Java, the new, right? Then the constructor is called and the local variable page is passed the value of the that particular instance variable. That we will come to a bit later. Don't worry about it now. Constructor area is very important. Not only that, we also need the locators, isn't it? So the locator area is nothing but you can keep it on top of the constructor or after the constructor, no issues. So the private member variables username, which is an input box, so meaningfully it has been given as username input, and we can give the locators how we can locate it within the page. Just once we have to give the locator, and irrespective of n number of methods you're referencing the username, you need to just maintain the locator only once. So that is the aspect of page object model which helps us to maintain the locators in a single area and not get the scripts debugging difficult later, right? So locators for the page, and then methods to interact with the locators should be done by calling the methods from the test cases, right? So just one important thing is that the page classes by themselves cannot be executed. Page classes cannot be executed by themselves. Cannot be executed. Only by creating an instance in the test case of the page classes, you will be able to do the testing, right? So do the test cases. How we will do that, we will see. And you have many methods to do the login, etc. So these are all TypeScript's syntactical areas. I'm still sticking to the concept part of it. So there are two methods. One example where I can say that, for example, username I'm using in more than one method, but still I'm just simply using username or UN. You can keep it as per your convenience. It is not, you don't have to again and again do the locator, right? Just as we are using the XPath and other things, we need not do it that way. Okay, so these are essentials of a page class. And I also will have a dashboard class where the similar structure I have to maintain. For example, let me go to the dashboard page. You can see that page object, member variable I have to reference. This is similar to that of WebDriver reference in Selenium, just for you to understand. So there is a constructor for this page class as well, and you need and what is the dashboard header? The locator strategy is there for us to locate the dashboard header. So page.locator, this will be the locator for me to locate the dashboard header. Now there are methods to interact with the page of dashboard and get whether it is having dashboard as the text or checking to see whether verify dashboard is loaded or not. What does it return? It returns a Boolean condition, isn't it? So anything that has a Boolean condition is true or false. That is what is returned upon calling this. Okay, these two are page classes. So this is only object that we are going to reference to. So one more class, the same kind of components, page class, but with only dashboard, and two methods I have written, for one for checking to see whether dashboard, whatever is the text that I am getting, I will be able to return, or I will be able to check if it is visible in the first place. That's it. So these are page classes. Now, what's with the test case now? There are going to be two test cases. One is correct login, the other one is incorrect login. So test cases, in test cases, they are also classes. Okay, test cases are also classes. Let me show you. In the tests folder, in the tests folder, when you have created the project structure, in my case, I have created the tests folder, and within that, I will be able to create a TypeScript for the tests as well. So the tests are going to be, how many tests are going to be within the TypeScript? So basically, we have a convention of giving the test name and the spec.ts. So that is the name generally it is given. How are we going to write the test cases? The only thing that we can execute here in page object model will be the test cases. Okay, in the test cases, I have to create an instance of the page class. That's how it is, right? So create an instance of the page class. So what is this test going to be? Describe is, what are we going to do? Orange HRM login page tests. This is like defining the overall feature or functionality. And what are the other tests that are going to be there? The tests are going to be, one test is for valid login, the other scenario is invalid login. So there is going to be another test. Two tests in a single TypeScript file I have written. Now I have to say which URL I have to navigate to the script, isn't it? So the URL to navigate to, and what are the valid username and password I have to pass to the login method, which is there in the page class. Those things I have to keep it in the test script, right? So I have to say in first test, I have to use the create an instance of the login page. Okay. So test case one. First, what are the things I have to take care? Create an instance of the login page using new keyword. Okay, so that is what exactly I have done over here. I have to give a variable name login page equal to new orange HRM login page. I have to pass my current page instance variable. I have to pass to the constructor of the orange HRM login page. Then only I have to send my driver to pick them up. Typically, that is what it is, isn't it? So I have to send my current instance of my, the login page object so that it can do whatever is necessary, right? So I will call the method called login, which is there in the page class using valid username and valid password, admin and admin123. And I also have to create an instance of the dashboard page. If the login is successful, second page comes into picture. So I have to create an instance of the dashboard page in order to interact with the dashboard, whether it is there or not, etc. So login page using new, and then also create, do the login. I will just jot down the logic, do the login with admin, sorry, admin comma admin 123. And after this, because there will be the dashboard page that is available to us, I have to create the instance of the, create an instance of dashboard page. And then check to see, call the method to check, verify dashboard is visible. Okay, so these are the things I have to do in order to make the test case as a successful one. So in test case 2, what I have to do? In test case 2, there is no question of dashboard page being loaded at all, isn't it? So the question arises whether when I have to log in, I only get the incorrect credentials there in the login page itself. So the flow goes like this. So here also we have to create an instance of the login page using new keyword. And in this test, I will have to do login with A, B, C, D, whatever, and whatever is the incorrect credentials. And then we no need to create the instance of the dashboard page. We simply have to check if incorrect credentials are displayed in the login page itself. Okay, so this is the flow of events. Once this test case is run, I can only run only the test cases and not the page classes, right? So page classes are only containers. Test cases are the ones in which we instantiate. It's like a test run. So the test cases, when I run once, it will create an instance of the page. All these things will happen in the page class. Now let us go into the tool. I hope it is clear to you. The page with the components, the member variables, declarations. I will show you the syntax, how it is done for each one of the components, and also run the test cases and show you up to even the results. Okay, and the methods to interact with the locators. Of course, even in dashboard page, similar structure will be there, but checking to see if dashboard is there or not, that should be done in the dashboard page class. Okay, now I'm going to show you this test. What I have written is going to contain two test scenarios. One is the valid login test, the other one is the invalid login test. So let's come from the beginning. This is the test case that we have spoken about. And what are we going to do? Since the pages are going to be referenced, I have got the pages to be imported from the pages folder. Okay. And after the import section comes the describe, which is going to be describing what this test is all about. It's about the login page tests, and which is the basic URL. This you can even configure in your PlayWright config file, okay, .ps file. That also you can do, but right now for clarity purpose, I have brought it here itself. Valid username, invalid username, password, credentials, everything I have got it. And this before each and after each are hooks that will execute before and after every one of the tests. Okay, so you can keep it over here, or after each you can keep it later in the script, but nevertheless it will execute during and after the instantiation process. So what do the test cases do? In test, there should be a header for our results, no? So there is a result header, and asynchronous execution concept comes into picture here of the page. Different test cases simultaneously execute, independent of each other to boost up the what do you call the performance of the test case. So await login page dot login. So in the page class, I've got a login method, which I have already defined. I'm passing the credentials, and once I pass the credentials and hit the enter button in my page class, dashboard will come into picture, isn't it? So now I also have to instantiate this. So therefore, during the execution, dashboard page will also be object in memory will be created of the current execution, and then I will capture the return value of verify dashboard loaded into the member variable over here and a local variable, and I can do the expect. Any last point in a test case should be a validation step, right? Or assertion, right? So you can expect the dashboard to be visible. To be truthy is the method that will check to see whether it is returning a true condition. So this is the valid login test. We expect it to pass if we give the admin and admin 123. The second test is going to be scenario is going to be invalid username and invalid password. Something where you can give A, B, C, D, F, G also. Just for clarity purpose, I've given that way. And you here there is no question of the dashboard page, isn't it? So basically, I create an instance of the login page and I check to see whether, because it is a scenario which is clear that invalid login test, I expect this to get the error message, which is nothing but incorrect credentials, which is there in the page class. These are all methods which are there in the page class, login page class. And I can also use the console to give me the messages for me to understand the execution, or you can run it in UI mode. That also will help for you to understand. Now validate the error condition to see whether it contains invalid credentials. Then it is actually a pass case because as per the expectation, when you pass the invalid credentials, it is not supposed to log in. Otherwise, it is a security issue, right? So therefore, expect error text to be invalid credentials in the second test case. So this is how. Let me execute this and show you. I'm going to run these two test cases. What are we going to run? Only the test cases. So here we are going into the testing area and we are going to see what are the tests we have got here. We have got two tests, valid login test and invalid login test, right? So here valid login test and invalid login test. So these appear like a tree structure over here. Both cases we are going to run now. So if you understand this particular logic, you can apply it to any particular tool that implements the page object model. You will be able to very clearly and easily maintain the test scripts, add or modify or even delete, maintain the test script very easily if there are any changes happening in the application. It will open the browser. Since I have given new keyword, it will open the new web browser, do the proper credentials first, check to see if the dashboard is present, and then give invalid user credentials, and then also do the login. In both the cases, even though you can see the error message over here like this, I've given it for debugging purpose. You will see valid login test also passed, invalid login test also passed, because the expected behavior is that it should not be able to log in to the application if you give the incorrect credentials. The code for this I probably will share in GitHub as well. So have a nice day. This is about the page object model concept in PlayWright. Have a nice day. Bye.